Okay, Hotel family, this your brother Matthew Daniels, aka the Chosen Few, aka Pool. And y'all see the title of this particular video, this particular live stream that we're going to be doing. And this one is called 42 Laws of Maat versus the 10 Commandments of Torah, which came first. Now, I'm only addressing this because lately I've been hearing people that believe in the Bible making the claim that the Ten Commandments and the laws found in the Torah came before the 42 laws of Maat. Okay. And me personally, I couldn't understand why someone would take that position. I thought it was already understood that the laws of Maat coming from the Egyptian or the Kemetic civilization predated the Ten Commandments and predated the Torah, but for some reason this just came up. Now, everyone that believes in the Bible does not make this claim. So this video isn't blanketly addressing everybody that believes in the Bible, that believes in the Torah. But I felt like since I had heard this claim being made several times recently, I felt like it'd be a good topic to address on the platform. Now, I'm going to say this. In order to make my point, I'm going to use information that was shared by the brother Zion Lex. Now, I want to say first, okay, I want to say first that this video is not directed towards Zion Lex. It's just I saw him post something on Facebook. I follow him on Facebook, and something that he posted will give me a real good opportunity to actually address the situation. I'm not 100% sure what his views on it are, but I do know that certain individuals that make this claim use information that they got from him. So this is not necessarily directed to him, although I will be utilizing one of his posts to make my point. So what I'm gonna go to first, family, is the actual post that I saw Brother Zion Lex make on Facebook that certain individuals who believe in the Bible have used to try to make the claim that the Ten Commandments of the Torah preceded the 42 laws of Maat. And not only did the Ten Commandments and the laws found in the Torah precede the 42 laws of Maat or the 42 negative confessions of Maat, they also say that the laws of Maat, the negative confessions of Maat, are a response to the decree that the Creator gave in the Torah. So, I definitely have to address that. It's no way possible. So we're going to try to clear that up pretty quickly. Okay. So here's the actual post that I'm talking about. I hope it's sharing on everyone's screen. Maybe it's taking a little while to pull up, but it should come up. So if you notice, the brother Zion Lex has a picture of what appears to be a representation of Moses on the left. There's a computer monitor with an image of Dr. Joseph Ben Jochanan, peace to the ancestor, in the middle. Okay, he has his logo beneath the laptop or the computer monitor, and on the right he says Dr. Ben clarifies the origins of the 42 laws of Maat, 1388 BCE, the response. And above the image that is supposed to represent Moses holding the Ten Commandments written on stone says the order that was given 1446 BCE. So with the image alone is saying that the order was given from the God of the Bible, Yahweh, okay, in the year 1446 BCE to Moses. And the image is saying that the response to that order came in 1388 BCE in the form of the 42 laws of Maat. Right. So this is what we're gonna be addressing. Someone who's not familiar with the topic will see this and run with it and say, oh, the Ten Commandments that are found in the Torah came in 1446 BCE, and those laws are written in the form of saying, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit adultery. And in 1388 BCE, in Kemet, you have the response to the command of thou shalt not given to Moses. Okay, you have it the response represented in the 42 laws of Maat, or the 42 negative confessions of Maat, because they are worded, I have not committed sin, I have not killed, I have not committed adultery, saying that the individual is proclaiming to the God that I have not violated the laws. So you can see how the wording of the Ten Commandments and the wording of the 42 laws of Maat can lead one to assume that if one preceded the other, that it may be a response to a command such as thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. And in Kemet, they're saying, I have not, I have not, I have not, I have not violated the command that thou shalt not. So let's just take a real quick look at the Ten Commandments. Okay. Now, I am aware that there are more than just 10 commandments or 10 laws found in the Torah, but we'll just keep it simple, right? We'll just stick to the 10 commandments. Okay, they are basically written in a form such as this. Now I just grabbed this off the internet, and so you see how, let's just look at number 2, how it says, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. If you had a Bible, like the King James Version of the Bible, it would say, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. But whoever made this particular image wanted to make the language more in modern English. So instead of they saying thou shalt not, they say you shall not, because the thou shall not is talking to the individual. You glance down to number 5, it says you shall not kill, or thou shalt not kill. Number 6, thou shalt not commit adultery. Number 7, you shall not steal. Number 8, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. Thou shalt not bear false witness against your neighbor. So you see what I was saying about the wording of the Ten Commandments. It definitely is a command. It is as given in the Bible. It is Yahweh giving commands to the children of Israel what they are not to do, what is not allowed, which is why it's worded how it's worded. And what I want to put up next is going to be the 42 laws of Maat, or the 42 negative confessions of Maat, or as you see on the image that I'm going to share, it says the 42 divine principles of Maat. It's worded several different ways, but whenever they're talking about 42 something of Maat, they're basically going to be referencing the same thing. So you can see how it says, I have not committed sin, I have not committed robbery with violence, I have not stolen, I have not slain men or women, I have not stolen food, I have not swindled offerings. So the idea is that the command was, thou shalt not, etc. And the response within the 42 divine principles of Maat, or the 42 laws of Maat, is saying, well, okay, now that I have died, and my heart is being weighed against the feather of my eye, I am professing that I have not violated the statutes which the gods, or the God has dictated or commanded man not to violate. Okay, so the overall um, thought process and the wording of the language makes sense, right? I'll admit that it makes sense. One would not the 42 laws of Maat coming from the Torah, but the I have not committed sin, I have not committed robbery with violence, being someone professing that they have not committed or they have not done things which they know that they are not supposed to do. Just from the wording, you do get that impression. And one thing I'm gonna do, shout out to the brother Zion Lex on this. I did see in a video that he made where in the papyrus of Annie, the Book of the Dead, he showed where it actually does say that the individual received a decree from the Neteru, which is not really God's, but for the sake of conversation, the Neteru are the deities in Kemet. So it shows where the Neteru did give a decree to mankind, and it is the basis of this decree that determines if mankind has lived according to Mayat or not. So what I want to do first off, family, is just to give you all a little information. Why is he saying 1338 BC? Now, I'm going to, disagree with the brother slightly on that date. I'm don't really have anything against it per se, but in my research, one of the oldest attestations to the 42 laws of Maat that we have is found in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the Predicate Imheru, known as the Papyrus of Ani. Okay, it was found within the tomb of Ani, the priest, the scribe Ani. Okay, and where they got this, I have not from is the Papyrus of Ani. Okay, and in my research, this dates to around 1250 BCE. Okay, 1250 BCE, give or take. In my research, that's the oldest copy of the 42 laws of Maat that we actually have on record. And I just want to show you how it actually appears in the text itself, right? So in the book that I have, the one that I just showed you, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the Papyrus of Ani by E.A. Wallace Budge on page 93, okay, it begins, right? It says, to be said when one cometh to haul this of double ma'ati, right? Of separating one from sins, all which he hath done, and of seeing of God every the faces. Now, remember, Egyptian sentence structure is not like in English sentence structure, but anyone who can think will be able to process how these sentences would actually be constructed in English. Back to the top. Hail God great, Lord of Maati, I have come to thee, my Lord. I have brought myself that I may see thy beauties. I know thee. I know the name of the gods, 42 who exist, right? With thee in the hall of this my Ati, and who live as the I'm sorry, just a second, and who live as the punishers of sinners. Okay, right here. Who, oh, okay, who live upon their blood on day that of computing dispositions before Neferu, verily, Rekti Merti F it Mayat is thy name. Verily, I have come to thee, I have brought to thee Mayat, right? Uh, hold on just a sec. I have brought to thee Mayat, I have driven away for thee wickedness. I have not done iniquity to mankind, not have I done harm to animals, not have I done wickedness in the place of my eye, not have I known evil, not have I acted wickedly, not have I done each day and every works above what I should do. Not had come forth my name to the boat of the prince, not have I despised God, not have I caused misery, not have I caused affliction, not have I done what is abominable to God, not have I caused harm to be done to the servant by his chief, not have I caused pain, not have I made to weep, not have I killed, not have I made the order for killing for me, not have I done harm to mankind. And so it goes on like this, right? And all of what we know to be the 42 laws of Ma'at are found here. And so I wanted you to see how it was actually written in the text so you can see where it comes from. Because like with the picture that I showed you and how individuals may present it, if you've never seen the papyrus of Ani, you may not know what it looks like in the text. So I just wanted to show it to you. And so right here, we skip ahead to page 205. I want you to see how it says, the highlighted portion. I have done that which commanded men or satisfied the gods therein. I have appeased God by doing his will. I have given bread to the hungry, water to the thirsty, clothes to the naked, and a boat to the shipwrecked. And I chose that to show where he's saying that I have appeased God by doing his will. I have done that which commanded men or satisfied the gods therein. So you do get a sense that when our need is professing the 42 laws of Ma'at, he is doing so because in the religion of Kemet, they believe that they were commanded by God or by the Neteru that they should not do these things. Now here's the problem. Here's the problem that I have. People make the leap to say, oh, well, if the 42 laws of Ma'at, if the oldest version of the 42 laws of Ma'at that we have is in 1250 BCE, or according to Zion Lexus Post, 1388 BCE. And we know that the command of thou shalt not was given to Moses in like 1440 or 1450 BCE. Then the command was given first to Moses before you have a response in Kemet. And first, I have to say, slow down. There's several problems with that type of logic that I'm going to try to address. The main one is simply, listen to me good, family. Listen to me good. Just because the oldest copy of the 42 laws of my art that we have are dated in my research to around 1250 BCE, okay, does not mean first and foremost that these 42 were not documented before 1250 BCE. All it means is that the oldest copy that we have is 1250 BCE, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? For all we know, these 42 could have been written in 2050 BCE. They could have been written 1,000 years earlier. We just haven't found that document. Okay, we just haven't found that document. Now, an individual may be saying, this way it gets good. An individual may be saying, well, I don't want to talk about a hypothetical find that shows the 42 laws of Maat 1,000 years before the papyrus of Ani. What you have, Ampu, what you have, chosen few, is the papyrus of Ani. So I'm gonna need you to stay in the date of the papyrus of Ani. To which I will say, okay, fine, that's fine. But if I have to stick to the oldest copy of the 42 laws of Maat that I have, which is 1250 BCE, 1250 BCE, I'm going to need my Bible believing brothers to do the exact same thing. And what do you mean by that? What is the oldest copy of the Ten Commandments that we have? Have you ever thought about that? You do not have one in no 14 anything BCE. You're not going to play with me. You don't have no copy of the Ten Commandments in 14 something BCE. So if you're going to tell me that when we're talking about the 42 laws of Maat, I have to go with the date of the oldest copy that I have, then I'm going to tell you, my brothers and sisters, that I'm going to need you to stick to the date. If that's how we're playing it, I'm going to need you to stick to the date of the oldest copy of the Ten Commandments that we have. Now, I stand to be corrected, but according to my research, I came across the Nash Papyrus. Now, I snatched this off of Wikipedia, but I saw this information in other places. So, anyone want to correct me, they can, but I guarantee nobody is going to be able to show a Ten Commandments, a copy of the Ten Commandments before 1250 BCE. That's impossible. I'll put $1 million on it. I put $1 million. You don't have a copy of the Ten Commandments older than the 42 laws of Maat. So we're not even going to play that game. But we're going to see, what do you have, right? The Nash Papyrus is a collection of 4 papyrus fragments acquired in Egypt in 1898 by W.L. Nash, the secretary of the Society of Biblical Archaeology. He presented them to Cambridge University Library in 1903. They comprise a single sheet and are not part of a scroll. The papyrus is of unknown provenance, meaning they don't know exactly where it was originally found, although it is allegedly from Fayum. The text was first described by Stanley A. Cook in 1903. Though dated by Cook to the 2nd century AD, wait a minute. So Cook initially dated it to the 2nd century AD. Do you know what that? You know what the 2nd century AD is? Huh? That's between 100 and 200 CE, right? That's after the so-called time of Jesus, man. But they say though it gets a little better for you than that. It says though dated by Cook to the 2nd century AD, or I like to say CE, subsequent reappraisals have pushed the date of the fragments back to 150 to 100 BCE. The papyrus was by far the oldest Hebrew manuscript fragment known at that time before the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls in 1947. Even when you push the date back of the oldest copy of the Ten Commandments that you have, it can only go back to around 150 to 100 BCE. Did you hear what I just said? Man, that's over 1,100 years after the papyrus of Ani. Let that sink in. Let that sink in, family. If anyone tells you that you have to use the date of 1250 BCE for the papyrus of Ani and the 42 laws of Maat, because that's the oldest copy that you have on hand, tell them, okay, Well, then do not add into the conversation that the Ten Commandments goes back to the time of Moses in 1440, 1450 BCE. Brother, the oldest thing you have, the oldest thing that you could put your hands on is like 150 to 100 BCE. We're talking over 1,100 years after the papyrus of Ani. So just on that alone, your claim is blown out the water. It's blown out the water. But then if you want to tell me, what's that ample? You know what? Chosen few, I don't want to play them games of what's the oldest that we have on record. Because you're dead. You're dead in the water right there. I'll be dead in the water right there. The oldest thing you could put your hands on. I'm going to say it again. The oldest thing that you could put your hands on is 150 to 100 BCE when we're talking about these 10 commandments. You don't have a 10 commandments from 500 BCE. If you do, show it. You don't have the 10 commandments from 800 BCE. If you do, show it. You don't have a 10 commandments from 1000 BCE. If you do, show it. You don't have a 10 commandments from 1100 BCE. If you do, show it. You don't have the 10 commandments from 1250 BCE, but we do have the papyrus of Ani, physical evidence of the 42 laws of Maat from 1250 BCE. So why are we playing these games, man? Why are we playing these games? Why are we playing these games? So with this right here is left, right, uppercut, jab, overs and unders, leftovers, and all that good stuff in your grill. All that good stuff in your grill, man. So what you have to do right here, either you throw this nonsense out that the Torah and 10 commandments from the laws in the Bible precede the laws of God. If you throw that foolishness out, or you stand on your 150 BCE date. I don't want to hear nothing about the so-called history. I want to talk about what you actually have. I want to talk about what you. Hey, give me just a second, family. What? Okay, I'll change you. Here I come. Okay, here I come. Here I come. All right. Y'all give me just a second, family. I'll be right back. All right, family. Sorry about that. Daddy duties did call, but at least it left it on the screen enough so you can just look at it and take it in. So the next place that they're gonna have to go, right? Or the next thing that I want to deal with, to show you the fallacy in this. So what you have to do is accept that we're not going to say that, oh, the oldest copy that you have is the oldest. That's the date of how old it is. Okay, what we have to do is say if it is attested to prior to that, then we can go with those dates. So what I'm going to do, I totally just wanted to take that whole 14 anything off the table. Let's take that off the table. But then, if we put it back, I'll let you put it back, right? Just for the sake of the video. I just want to show that. But let's just say, right? Let's just say that these particular dates are real. Let's go with the 1446 BCE is when the actual order was given to Moses, right? And we're talking about this 1388 BCE. I don't understand why people would assume that the laws of Maat only go back that far, especially if they read the literature. Okay, because now I'm going to show you that even if, which you cannot, but even if you could show a Ten Commandment, a Torah in 1446 BCE, what I'm going to show you next is that it doesn't even matter, right? Because the laws of my eye indefinitely go back further than that. Definitely go back further than that, right? So I'm going to give you this make-believe date of 1446 BCE. I'm going to give you that just for the sake of argument, just so I can show you guys how this my is old. And there's no disrespect to the Torah, no disrespect to the Ten Commandments, no disrespect to the laws of the Bible, but it ain't no way, man. It ain't no way you could pretend like anything that has to do with laws of Ma'at is a response to the Torah because Ma'at came first. How was it a response to that? You know, you shouldn't even get that impression, right? Here we got Ancient Egyptian Literature, Volume 1, The Older Middle Kingdom by Miriam Litcham. Okay, and we're just going to go to the pyramid text of Pepi the First, which is found on page 49 of the book that I just showed, right? And this that I'm about to show you, family, was written in around the 6th dynasty. We're talking about 2332 to 2287 BCE, right? Almost 1,000 years before your 1446 date. Almost, listen to what I just said, almost 1,000 years before your 1446 date. So even if I give you the 1446 BCE, my predates that by almost 1,000 years according to this source, but it gets better. But look at this, family. This is in pyramid text of Pepi the First, the ruler Pepi the First. Command the living one, the son of Sophist, to speak for this Pepi, to establish for Pepi a seat in the sky. Commend this Pepi to the great noble, the beloved of Ptah, the son of Ptah, to speak for this Pepi, to make flourish his jaw stands on earth. For Pepi is one with these four gods, Imseti, Happy, Dua Umtef, Kemus, Kabesanuf, who live by my art. For Pepi is one with these four gods, Imseti, Happy, Dua Umtef, Kabesanuf, who live by my art. So they are living by my art. They are living by the laws of my art. My art, the concept of living by the laws of my art is in the papyrus of the pyramid text, the pyramid text of Pepi the First in the 6th dynasty. This is over 1,000 years before the papyrus of Ani, family. So just because he doesn't write out the 40, how it's written out in the papyrus of Ani, you see, like I see, that they are living by my art in the 6th dynasty. Do you understand what that is? You know, I just told you when the sixth dynasty is, but do you know when that is? Pepi the first is dated to have reigned between like 2332 BCE to around 2287 BCE. Family, this is almost 1,000 years before 1446 BCE. So really the oldest thing that you have, the oldest 10 commandments that you have is 150 BCE. 150 BCE compared to 2332 BCE. Family, do you know that that's over a 2,000 year difference? I can show you people living by Maat in the sixth dynasty. Almost 1,000 years before you say Moses got the Torah. This is technically this will be before the date that you have for Abraham. I don't even believe Abraham was a real person. I believe it's mythology, but even in the mythological story, so you can't even say that Abraham brought in some oral Torah, which is why I know some of you may go, there was an oral Torah. That maybe when Abraham came in the mythology, maybe he gave it to him. No, 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 no. This is before the so-called Abraham. I don't have nothing against the Torah. I don't have nothing against the Ten Commandments. And I'm not even saying that they stole the Ten Commandments from the 42 laws of Maat. All I'm doing is I'm defending the culture that I have an affinity with. And someone saying that the Torah or the Ten Commandments or the laws in the Torah precede Maat. I know that that is just as inaccurate as it can get. So I am attempting to show how inaccurate that is. But okay, okay, there I come. Let me see. Come here. Come here. Stand up. Okay, come on. I'll be right, family. Let that sixth dynasty marinate. Okay, I'm back, family. My apologies. So let's just jump to the next point. I'm just gonna do something because I want to show that um actually you can show my eye in the fifth dynasty as well. You can show it before the sixth dynasty. It's just gonna it gets older and older and older and older. Family never just want to do the teaching. What you see here is the teachings of Ptah Hotel, or sometimes it'll be called the instructions of Ptah Hotel, the maxims of Ptah Hotel. Any of those are relevant, and they're all talking about the same thing. Now, the instructions of Ptah Hotel, okay, dates back to around 2388 BCE. It's not much, not a whole lot earlier than the pyramid texts of Pepi the First, but it is earlier than Pepi the First. So we're going back even farther, and this is going to solidify the point that I'm making. It's going to drive it home a little more. But then the fifth instruction, or the fifth maxim, or the fifth teaching of the Ptahotep, it says, it is everlasting. Mayat has been unchanged since the time of Assault. To create obstacles to the following of laws is to open a way to a condition of violence. The transgressor of laws is punished, although the greedy person overlooks this. Baseness may obtain riches, yet crime never lands its wares on the shore. In the end only, my act lasts. Man says, my yacht is my father's ground. Listen to the language. My yacht isn't just a concept here. They're talking about laws, and they're referencing these laws when talking about my yacht. Okay, let's not pretend like laws of my yacht was invented in 1250 BCE, man. This is, like I say, this is the on Ptahotep 2388 BCE. This is the fifth dynasty, man. Am I right? Okay. So sorry about that again. Like I said, I have my son, so I may be in and out. You gotta take care of your children. Okay. So I apologize if I keep walking off on you guys. But you see, it says my yacht has been unchanged since the time of Assault. Just a second, family. A thousand apologies, man. But so we see that my yacht has been unchanged since the time of Assault. To create obstacles to the following of laws is to open a way to a condition of violence. The transgressor of laws is punished. So you have laws of what you should not do. You have a concept of people who could transgress those laws by doing what they are not supposed to do, and they're punished. So there has to be punishments. There's laws, right? There are punishments for transgressing these laws, and these laws of my act have been unchanged since the time of Asar. And he's saying that because in the mythology of Kemet, Asar is the lawgiver, right? So I'm showing you the laws of my act, man. I'm showing you the laws of my act, 2388 BCE. You cannot pretend like you don't see this. We gotta stop. We gotta stop with this nonsense, man. The Torah and the Ten Commandments do not precede the laws of my, and it is not a response to any Yahweh. It is not a response to any Ten Commandments. Their mythology was already in place. The concept of the Nedaru giving laws to man, and man being held to account for these laws when he dies, was firmly in place 1,000 years before you even say that Moses got the Torah. You just got to accept that, family. I don't know why people arguing with me about this. They haven't read the literature, right? They haven't read the literature. So why are they saying though that Mayat has been unchanged since the time of Asar? What are they telling us? They're telling us that these laws of Mayat has been the same. I don't have to show you a copy older than 1250 of the laws of Mayat. I don't have to do that, right? Because the oldest copy you can show me is 150 BCE. So you dead in the water there. But if you want to talk about, oh, well, these laws predate that, I'll accept that. I don't think they made up the Ten Commandments in 150 BCE. I just said that to prove a point. Don't lock me in the 1250 because I'll take you way out into deep waters. I can take you to the fifth dynasty and show you laws of my I'm showing it to you right here. It's not writing out what each one actually is, but obviously they knew. If he says that the transgressor of laws is punished, people knew there were punishments. This thing was well thought out, family. Okay? But why is he saying since the time of Asar? You got to understand the mythology. I heard my brother Zion, he's a good brother. I'm not challenging him at all, man. I use this post, but I've learned from that brother myself. I'm not gonna front like I haven't, But I've heard him ask the question. I've been asked the question. Some people, they always want to know, where did the laws of Mayat come from? Who gave these laws to the Kemetic people? Now, when most people who have an affinity with Egypt talk about the subject, or when they are presented with that question, they are going to say that we do not have a record of the actual living, breathing human being who constructed those 42 laws of Ma'at. The majority of the time when you talk about lawgivers in ancient societies, the lawgivers are tied in with some form of mythology. So the Kemetic brothers and sisters do not want to answer the question from a mythological standpoint. So they honestly, they tell you that they do not know the physical man or individual who created those particular 42 laws as we have them, and I can't say that I found a document that names that individual. But what I can do for you, family, is I can identify with the mythology, who the mythology accounts to it, and it's Asar. Osiris. Asar is the lawgiver. But we recognize the mythological concept of Asar. So don't mistake what I'm telling you. Okay? But it is Asar in the mythology. That's the mythological answer to your question. Asar. All right. Now we already saw how in the I'm sorry, in the fifth dynasty, Ptahhotep said that the laws were unchanged since the time of Asar, meaning that during the time of Asar, these laws came into being. So what I'm about to do, I know you see the book on the screen, Plutarch's of Isis and Osiris, or the ancient religion and philosophy of Egypt. Yes, Plutarch was a Roman who lived in the first and second century CE. Okay, he's ancient to us, but he came long after the Egyptian Empire had fallen. But what he does is he documents a lot about the religious and mythological views of the Egyptians in this particular book and others. But in this particular book, Plutarch's of Isis and Osiris, being Aset and Osar, Isis being Aset and Osiris being Asar, he documents that Asar is the lawgiver. And I can agree with his assessment because Ptahhotep also said that the laws of Maat have been unchanged since the time of Asar. Alluding to the fact that they came into they came to be during the time of Asar. And it says on page 15 of the book that I have, the highlighted portion, family, it says, and they say that Osiris, Asar, when he was king of Egypt, drew them off from a beggarly and bestial way of living by showing them the use of grain and by making them laws and teaching them to honor the gods. And that afterwards he traveled all the world over and made it civil. Okay, let's just read it one more time so you can get it. And they say that Asar, when he was king of Egypt, drew them off from a beggarly and bestial way of living by showing them the use of grain and by making them laws and teaching them to honor the gods. And afterwards, he traveled all the world over and made it civil, having but little need of arms, for he drew the most to him, alluring them by persuasion and oratory, intermixed with all sorts of poetry and music. Whence it is that the Greeks look upon him as the very same with Bacchus. So in the mythology of Kemet, Asar is the lawgiver. He is the one who civilized the Egyptian people. He gave them their laws, and he not only civilized the Egyptians and gave them their laws, but he made expeditions around the world, right? He made expeditions around the world and he civilized all of mankind according to the mythology. So the mythological answer to your question, who gave the Egyptian people the laws of Maat? It was Asar. Take it or leave it. Okay, take it or leave it. Right, and I'm going to be wrapping it up here shortly. But one thing I did want to show you guys is where Zion Lex is the one that showed me in the Kemetic text that it did say that Maya came as a decree from the gods, right? In the same Egyptian Book of the Dead, the Papyrus of Ani that I showed earlier on page 17 in the book that I have, plate 4, he translated this, and I went and found it. When he said it was on plate 4, I went and found it in my copy of the Papyrus of Ani, and so I could see it for myself. And so shout out to Zion Lex for showing me this because I didn't know this was there. But it says, saith Horus or Heru, saith Heru, the son of Aset, I have come to thee, Nefer, and I have brought to thee Asar Ani. His heart is right, coming forth from the balance. Not sinned hath it against the god, any or goddess any. Hath weighed it, thought Tahuti, according to the decree uttered by the cycle of the gods unto him. So it's basically saying that Ani's heart has been weighed at the balance, weighing against the feather of Ma'at, and it has been found that he hasn't sinned against any god or goddess, right? And it was weighed by Tahuti according to the decree that was uttered by the Neteru, saying that the Neteru uttered a decree of what man should and should not do. Tahuti weighed the heart based on this decree, these laws, and Ani was found to be in compliance. And Ani was basically, he was found to be righteous. So we know that even if you want to go by the oldest copies, right? And just to wrap it up, the oldest rendition of the 42 laws of Ma'at that we have is indeed the Papyrus of Ani from around 1250 BCE. Okay. But the oldest copy of the Ten Commandments that we have is 150 BCE. So if you want to play which is older that we physically have game, Ma'at wins. Now, if you want to take it back to say that Moses gave you the Ten Commandments in 1446 BCE, I'm going to show you the laws of Ma'at in the 6th dynasty and in the 5th dynasty. And I'm going to show you Ptah, speaking of laws and transgressions of laws of Ma'at about 1,000 years before 1446 BCE, right? And I'm going to show you that according to the mythology, the laws of Ma'at have been unchanged since the time of Asar, which takes you back even to a pre-dynastic era. Okay, so what we have to do, family, what we have to do is just accept that. Okay, Ma'at is older than the Torah. Ma'at is older than the Ten Commandments. The laws of Ma'at are old, way older than the Torah and way older than the laws found in the Bible. That just is what it is. We probably should never have that particular conversation again. So as I wrap it up, for more content, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video, share the video, leave a comment if you like. And if you want to, link up with me in ways other than my YouTube channel, my Facebook name is, my regular name, Matthew Daniels, right? I also have a Facebook group where I like to read a lot. So I named it The Real Bookworm. And what I do is whenever I'm reading a book and I come across some interesting information, I share it in the group. I post it in the group. I post the book where it can be found, and I share the information that I've come across. I have a lot of things archived. You may want to go check that out. I also have a Facebook page that I created called Maze Art. I want to go check it out. I have some really, really nice hand-drawn mazes that I create by hand. I do sell those as well. You can go to the page to see if you like them, see if you want to purchase them, or just to take a look at it to see what I'm talking about. And I always add the Cash App on my Cash App, the Real Bookworm. That is how I actually sell the mazes on the page. Individuals contact me through the page, make the payment to the Cash App, and I mail off the mazes. It's not like some real big corporation type of thing. It's just something I do out of my home, in spare time. It's not like some real big business, right? So reach out to me on Facebook, subscribe, like the video, share the video, join the Real Bookworm group on Facebook, page Maze Art. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. I'm about to end this stream. Make sure you share it. Hotel to everyone. Thanks for watching.